Good afternoon, America. Brian James Blem here. I want to welcome you back to another episode of What the Fuck's Up. And if you're watching what's taking place in your election, you must be thinking, oh, what a fucking shit show. If you haven't voted yet with what you're seeing happen nationally, folks, you are running a huge risk of turning this election directly over to the Democrats and those people engaging in all of the bullshit that you see taking place around you, right? Yesterday I talked a little bit about Colorado and the Secretary of State and what was taking place in other states. But what is it, Michigan? Michigan today, somebody was videotaped, one person videotaped, dumping hundreds of ballots into a drop box. Where does one person get 100 plus ballots, right? What are they doing? Are they getting undeliverables from the Postal Service, voting in them and dumping them into the drop box? Are they hanging out at apartment complexes and scooping ballots up as they're, thrown by doors by postal people or whatever the case may be? I mean, I've showed you on my very show how easy it is when you go to some of these LDs, legislative districts, or some of these very concentrated, highly urbanized precincts, and you can just scoop up thousands and thousands of ballots that you could then vote and dump into drop boxes, right? The same process works everywhere, folks. And that's why the national security state pushed vote by mail, and they removed everybody from social media who had anything bad to say about vote by mail, folks. And so, but what's taking place today, right? Aside from this person with hundreds of ballots in Michigan. And by the way, is that really fair? One person has hundreds of ballots when you only get one, right? Maybe you ought to go find 100 of your own ballots. But that's beside the point. What's happening in Pennsylvania right now is huge. And so far as I know, 3 county attorneys are now actively investigating an Arizona resident. And I believe the state of Pennsylvania's equivalent of Arizona's Attorney General has decided to jump in the fray and conduct an investigation as well. Because what's happening is they're finding thousands upon thousands of fraudulently completed voter registration forms that were then voted on behalf of these fraudulently registered voters. That's huge, folks. That's huge. And this gentleman that runs the organization out there that is being charged with engaging in these very anti-democratic behaviors and conduct is the vice mayor of Mesa, Arizona. That's right, he lives here. But not only does he live here, he runs Mi Familia. Mi Familia is a very, very large Hispanic-oriented political action group that has very special access with respect to Arizona's voter registration database. Mi Familia, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the left-wing organizations that is authorized to directly upload voter registrations directly into the statewide voter registration database, which are then provided downstream to your local county recorders, right? The same person from Pennsylvania, folks, has this access in Arizona. And so what you've got to ask yourself is, what's happening in Arizona? Why are we seeing people get mail-in ballots after the deadline at addresses where the residents say they don't live and have never lived, right? This is all part of the mail ballot scam, folks. And so this is a problem, and as Arizonans and as Americans, you should be up in arms about what's taking place in your elections, because nationally they're working to destroy them. And so, folks, this gentleman, his name is Francisco Heredia, the Mesa vice mayor, right? Runs Field and Media Corps, which are the organizations out in Pennsylvania. They're doing this all over the country, folks. They're doing this all over the country. They're likely doing it with a substantial number of illegal voter registrants in the state of Arizona. And guess what? The gentleman used to work in 2017 with Adrian Fontes, when Adrian Fontes was the Maricopa County Recorder, and according to a news article I've seen, he continues to work with Stephen Richer and has worked with Stephen Richer in various capacities for a very long time. What's happening in Arizona's voter registrations, folks? Are we getting illegal registrants into our system so that they can vote? Because we know Adrian Fontes, we know this Francisca Heredia, and we know Stephen Richer are all anti-Trump and anti-MAGA. We also know that both Stephen Richer and Adrian Fontes are actively litigating public records cases to deny the people of the state of Arizona the right to access voter registration data, right? Is this one of the reasons Adrian Fontes fought so hard to keep the state legislature from getting this list of 200 and some thousand voters that did not provide proof of citizenship? My guess is there's probably a relationship there. And so America, Arizona, I say America because this just doesn't involve Maricopa County, Arizona. This is a national issue. Your elections have become a national crisis. And I honestly believe that the national security state is helping to push this national crisis so that when January 6th comes around and congressmen and women walk into this fortified, very heavily militarized Congress, that those that are pro-MAGA and those that are pro-Trump will be intimidated in an effort to get them to back down and not certify this election on behalf of Donald Trump. America, your elections are under assault. Your constitutional republic is under assault by the national security state, which assumes it has authority over and above the Constitution. We need to rein the national security state in. We need to rein in all the bad actors that they rely on in these non-governmental organizations they funnel shit tons of money to. And we need to take our country back. With that, I say, if you haven't voted, get your ass out and vote, okay? If you've got a mail-in ballot, don't give it to the Postal Service. Do not, under any terms at all, give it to the Postal Service. Take it to a manned drop box. Take it to a vote center to drop off. Whatever you do, vote that ballot prior to Election Day. We don't want a shit show on Election Day, and we know that's exactly what they're going to give us. And with that, I say peace.